Hi guys, welcome to this review video on revision guides for AQA Sociology and Health and Social Care, the commenter edition. So a few weeks ago I posted this video in which I reviewed textbooks and revision guides for sociology, and one of the comments I had was from Toby MUFC asking about the Tutor2U booklets. So I replied and said, great idea, and I ordered a couple of them in order to review them. Now, coincidentally, Tutor2U reached out to me and asked that if I got in touch with them, they would send me some materials so I could review for the channel. So this is my first ever partially gifted kind of video, because I've been sent some materials from Tutor2U which I've got to look at, but I also ordered a few of these materials anyway with the plan of having a discussion on them. So this is quite new for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the materials that I've been sent, some of the materials I brought, and I'm going to review them in the same way I did before. So low stars mean that they've tried and it's not quite hit the mark, whereas I'm going to move all the way up to 5 stars, which means it's really good in that field. As always, we're going to rank them in 3 categories. So we have cost, which is how much they are. Is it affordable? Is it expensive? And we'll discuss this with each case. We're going to think about the depth of the content, how much detail is included, how much insight does it help you provide, and we're also going to think about how student-friendly are the materials. So this is the first book I was sent, which is an exam skills workbook for AQA A-level sociology. It's a key topic revision exam technique guidebook. It's the official title of it all. Now these books come in at $5.95 each. It covers content from the specification and is broken down into different sections. And I think it's quite good. It covers the core materials. It's not overly detailed, but it gives enough content to help you with the exam. It has exemplar questions and it runs at about 48 pages. There is a whole series of these revision guide books covering every part of the sociology specification and the syllabus. So again, you've got quite a range of books to choose from. You can tailor it to the topics you're covering in your school. The book itself, if just have a look at this image on the screen, kind of shows you what the pages look like inside. So each topic covers a different part of the spec, and you can see it's quite a detailed discussion of what you need to know, covering the key bits from the specification. It breaks down some of the key content, thinkers, concepts, all presented in bold. It has some examples and table summaries giving you the core information that you'd need. What I quite like about this book as well is, along with evaluations and how you would challenge the views, it also links to core themes. So those underlying features like socialization, stratification, differentiation. But it also includes exam questions, as you can see on the bottom left hand side there. So again, it gives you some exemplar questions, but also possibly some questions from the real exam papers. So again, as a study guide, this is really good for providing you the key content. And then if you wanted to practice questions, you could take a look at those. So again, overall, I thought this was a really good book to use. So cost, I've put at 5 stars because $5.95 is not bad for a book. I suppose if you are going to buy several of them, so I know for my students, we cover beliefs, crime, education, families, theory and methods. That could total up to sort of quite a bit if you wanted to buy all of them. But I suppose if you were to space it out, and as you're learning materials, buy the packs as you go, it spreads the cost a little bit, so it's not too overwhelming. Depth of content, I've also put 5 stars. It covers a lot of content really well, gives you a good summary, it's quite clear, and student friendly, I've put a 4 just on the basis that it's quite text heavy. So again, if you're a visual learner, or you may be kind of put off by the very text-heavy nature of the pack, it may not work for you. But personally, I looked at it and I thought that's a really good summary of core information, as well as those exam questions. I thought that was a really good thing that I liked in each of the packs. The second book I was sent was an exam skills workbook for sociology. So it's, again, key topic revision, exam techniques, and it's the workbook. So these workbooks are designed to focus on one topic of the teaching content. They explore lots of questions, materials, and again, it's a really good way of getting you to develop your exam skills, particularly elements of recall knowledge, so knowledge checks, the AO1, but there was some skills in here that push your analysis, your evaluation, your application, which are those AO2 and AO3 skills. Each exam skills workbook comes with a full set of suggested responses, so I'll come back to that in a second. And these come in at about 64 pages. This book and the previous, they're kind of good quality paper books as well, so they're not too heavy, they're not too bulky. They're ones that you could easily carry around in your bag or take into college if you wanted to use them. As before, full series of books here covering all the different topics from the sociology spec. Again, you wouldn't need all of them. You could tailor these to the ones that you are using in your setting. So again, as I say, for me, education, crime, families, probably research methods in there, and I imagine the sociological theory, the key theories would also be useful. So again, you can get these on the Tutor2U website, and again, they're coming around £5.95 each. Now, just inside the book, again, you can see here, very different to the first book, far more visually engaging, and it does, again, could be, I think in my sense, it does seem a little bit more student friendly when you open these books and you look at this. Now, again, as you can see here, all of these factors are activities about developing the skills of application, developing analysis, recall knowledge. So if you are learning sociology from a lesson, this is a really good book to develop your skills, practice, revise, and recap content. So again, as a revision tool, I think is a really good one that you could do throughout the year as you're working through content. The previous book, I think, is probably better as you get towards the end of the year and you're starting to revise and prepare for exams. So the activities range in their style and their layout. So it might be, explaining a theory from different angles, evaluating different elements of a theory. But as I say, really good, kind of walks you through, scaffolds your way of answering the questions. And again, it covers a range of different topics. It's also lots of different styles of activity. You can see gap fills, there's concept linking, there's short discussion boxes. So again, a real variety to meet different student needs. The main thing I did like about these packs was if on the back there's a little QR code here, and if you scan it, it takes you to the Tutor2U website where they have all the answers to the questions in the pack. And again, it opens up a PDF file and it basically gives you a suggestion of what you could have written or how you could answer some of those activities that popped up in the pack. And again, I thought this was quite nice because if you have a go at something but you want to double check it, this is an easy way to kind of check what you've done. It's also quite handy if you're not sure what to do. You can easily take a look and just check what you're being expected to do. So I thought this was a really nice feature of these packs. So overall, again, £5.95 each. Cost is pretty good. As I say, if you buy multiple of them, the cost will increase, but if you were to space them out as you learn each topic, that could be quite a good way of sort of spreading out the cost for the packs. Depth of content isn't as high. I've put that as a 2 because the nature of this pack isn't providing you content, but it's developing your skills. So that's where you're really going to get the benefit from it, developing those knowledge and evaluation and application skills, the AO1, 2 and 3. So that's a really good thing about these packs. Student friendly, I've put it 5 stars because it is a really student friendly booklet. I think, as I say, as a learner want to do some revision, this is going to be a great way to kind of recap your core content and develop some skills. Now, 2 other books that I have, these ones are the ones that I purchased as part of the review. The first one here is a 10-mark example answers booklet. Now, one thing about this one, at the time of purchasing my copy, it was a physical paper booklet. As you can see, I've got a picture of it there. It was also reduced quite heavily, so I think it was around £2–3 as the time of when I brought it. Currently, looking on the website, it's a digital download only, and it comes in about £15 for the booklet. So cost I've put quite low, so it's not a particularly good one or cost effective one unless you are a teacher and you're going to potentially use it a lot in lessons or share it with students. Content I've put mid-range, I'll explain that why in a second, and again student friendly in the mid-range. Now the way this book works is it just provides lots and lots of 10-mark questions with a student response with some annotations and comments along the side, and then at the end it tells you the rough boundary or grade boundary that it would be in. Sometimes questions like these, and again I find this a lot with textbooks as well, the kind of the 10-mark student response that is there doesn't feel like a typical student response. It's quite wordy, quite well written. Again, maybe compared to the sort of my kind of students and my experience, but it doesn't feel like an actual student has written it. It feels more like an examiner while pretending to be a student. So again, I always kind of take these with a pinch of salt, because again, I don't always necessarily feel they are a true reflection of what students would produce in a timed condition. I may be wrong, maybe these are student responses and they're very well written ones. They're also boundary wise, you get one question, one answer, and it's normally top band responses. So what I think would be useful is maybe demonstrating a kind of lower band answer, mid-range answer, and a top band answer that could help you to see what would be expected in your responses. Now the next book is very similar to the previous one. It's a 30-marker example essay booklet. Again, ordered it some time ago. It's a print edition, so again it's a physical paper booklet. This one is still available on the Tutor2U website, and for whatever reason it's £2.95. So that's the price I paid a couple of weeks ago, still sitting at £2.95, which is a really good price for a booklet like this. As I said with the previous one, it does include a selection of 30-mark essay answers. You can see same structure. Here's the question, here's the item, here's the essay answer with some commentary alongside. As before, these essays often always top band. They're written in a way that doesn't feel necessarily like a true student response, and again someone pretending to be a student on what they've written. So I would take them with a pinch of salt, but sometimes I think it's quite nice for the structure and to see what they have in place. As always, I think if there was a comparison of bands, so some of the previous revision guides, so like for example, like some of the Hodder ones, they do that. They have a sort of a higher band and a lower band student response. You can see the difference of why, one was given an A, one was given a C. That's something that I think could be beneficial here, is having that sort of slight comparison between a higher band and a lower band response. But as I say, cost 5 stars because £2.95 is a really good price for a book like this. Depth of content, mid-range, again, it's just lots of answers with some commentary. And again, student friendly, could be helpful for seeing what 30-mark may look like. But as I say, when you're reading them, just take a pinch of salt that doesn't feel like a truly written by a student response, but more an examiner's written it in sort of the mindset of a student. And kind of next we move on to some health and social care. So again, this is a book that was gifted, but I own the Unit 1 and Unit 2 guides because I use them as part of my teaching. So this is a health and social care knowledge book. And again, I like these knowledge books. I use them a lot in my health and social care sessions. Because again, I think they include nice little structured step-by-step activities which help students build skills for the exam. So at the moment there are Unit 1, 2 and 3 guides on the website. I was sent Unit 3, which isn't one I have because I don't teach Unit 3, but Unit 1 and 2 are books I already have. Again, you work systematically through the book. It helps you to identify gaps in knowledge. I use these sometimes as part of consolidations or starters or homeworks. And again, I use bits of the pack or the booklet rather than sending the whole booklet to my students or giving my students a whole booklet to use. But as before, there's a QR code on the back of the book, which again allows you to look at the answers, which I think is a really nice way of obviously checking what you've done, but also if you're a student and you're not sure, again, you can get the answers. The way I do this is normally, again, if any bit I set in lesson or any bit I set at homework, I would go through with my class. So I might use those answers myself as part of checking what I'm delivering and what I'm suggesting to them. So you can see just by this little image of the book I was sent, again, a very, very student friendly book, far more visual, I think, than some of the other Tutor2U materials. Just some screenshots here from the book I was sent. Again, the other two I'd left at home. Sorry, not home. Left on my desk at work, so I didn't have them to hand. But I took some images because again, they're very similar in this style. This like yellow boxes and these images. And again, I thought these are quite nice reflections of these work booklets. So, range of activities from gap fills, questions, boxes to fill in. Quite visual with these little images of people throughout, and again I thought these are quite nice. I like these booklets personally, and again I think from what my students have said to me, they quite use these and quite like these as well. So again, a nice revision guide, good for consolidation as you're learning the topic with your teacher and reflecting on what you've done. So in terms of ranking cost, they come in at £5.95 a booklet. One booklet covers an entire unit, so unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. So you don't need to buy, depending on what you're doing, my students only do unit 1 and unit 2 for the exam, so they don't need to buy 2 books. And as I say, I tend to buy them, and then I might set a bit of it as a task for them to do. So cost, really good, 5 stars. Depth of content, as I said before, I've put 2. There isn't much content because it's a book where they have to put in the answers themselves. You have to fill it in yourself. But as before, you've got that QR code. You can get the information online. You can check the answers. Very student friendly. So again, 5 stars for this one here. And last but not least was some revision cards. So I was gifted a set of these, but I already have so I was sent the unit 2 revision question cards, but I already have the unit 1 question cards, and I've got a couple of the sociology sets as well at my where I work. Now, one of the big differences, so if you're buying the sociology cards, they come in at £5 a set, which I think is not bad because you get sort of around 100 cards per set, maybe slightly less for the sociology ones. But I suppose the flip side is you will need multiple sets, so family, education. Again, like with the packs, you're going to need to buy more than one set. With the health flashcards, it's a little bit more, so it's £7.95 per set. But again, you've only got the 2 sets. There's only unit 1 and unit 2 that I'm aware of at the moment on the website. I imagine they'll probably release units later on. So again, £14 to £16 for multiple sets, or the 2 sets you need for health. A little bit more if you're going to buy the sociology sets. Again, these cards I think are really useful for revision, consolidation. It might be, again, they're quite portable. So again, it's not a massive, they're postcard size. So you could have a set in your bag, or sort of take them to college, or if you've got a part-time job, use them on your break. They cover all key materials. The front side will have an image and some information. You flip it over, there's a little bit more detail. There are question cards sort of giving you exam questions. There are advice cards on there as well. So again, there's a range of materials you can look at. I think these are really nice little ways of doing some revision. And also, again, I suppose if you like making flashcards, they're great. If you don't feel you have the time or don't want to make flashcards, or you're worried about how much content you put in, I think these can also be quite useful as well. I use these again at work. Within my lessons, I think we've used these in some of my college departments. I've seen these cards be used for display boards and kind of sort of creating very visual displays, summing up big parts of the content. So they're used in different ways by different teachers. So as I said before, cost, I've put 4 stars only on the basis that they're relatively cheap individually, but again, you're going to buy multiple sets. Depth of content, I think is pretty good considering these are flashcards. You get a lot of flashcards with a lot of detail. It covers an entire course or entire topic, so I've put content pretty well. And again, student friendly. I think they're very friendly student materials. So final thoughts, as always, these are revision materials to help develop your knowledge, develop your skills. They're not essential, and don't feel you need to buy these. I think sometimes these are materials which I think will aid and benefit students if they're in that mindset where they need that support. But if you find the content really well and you get on well with your lessons, you may not need these. So as always, I think maybe get 1 set, 1 booklet, trial it out, see what you think, and then you can always buy multiple sets if you benefit from using it. Just as this video shows, I do look at the comments. I always like to read the comments. I don't get that many, so it makes it easy to do. So stick a comment on, or stick any thoughts, ideas, suggestions, because I'm happy to take those on board. As I've said in previous videos, you know, if you can like, subscribe, tell your friends, that really helps me out. I've kind of hit that point now where I've hit 1,000 subscribers. I can start adding new features like comment boards and communities posts. So I will try and start using that. But again, anything you can do to help the channel grow, that's always really appreciated. And finally, I just want to say thank you to Tutor2U. This, again, for me, this is something new. The first time I've ever been gifted some materials to review. So I thought I just want a little shout out to Tutor2U to say thank you for that. On their website as well, not they're just selling stuff, but they have lots of free resources. So I would definitely say check it out, have a look. They've got videos and blogs and sort of information sheets. So it's a really useful website to support you in your learning. And again, if you don't want to buy any materials, you don't have to. There's so much free stuff there to support you. I think this, you know, it's going to really help with your progress. So as always, thanks for watching. Take care, and I hope this has been of some use.